So there was this moment, it was one of the first times that I had left my baby, okay? She had been born with global brain damage. She had a feeding tube. She cried all the time. Life was complicated, and I really never left the house. I remember sitting in the car and getting to the first stoplight after I left the house. My heart was beating out of my chest. My body was having this reaction. It almost felt like I had had 15 cups of coffee that day. But no joke, I think I had one and it was decaf because I was still pumping. I kept wondering to myself, why am I so crazy? Why is my heart beating out of my chest? What's going on? It wasn't until 2 years later that I realized that moment was the very first moment that I had experienced anxiety at its highest. I was having anxiety for 2 years and I had no idea what it even was. It wasn't until I lost the ability to actually even go from awake to sleep until I went to the doctor and I decided I need to figure this thing out because I've got a baby and I need to be able to wake up with her in the morning. People who have been through trauma often experience anxiety like this because their body gets literally stuck in fight or flight. My body was so stuck in fight or flight because I was dealing with feeding tubes, medication, unknown disorder, so many crazy things that my body was just like this, like 24 hours a day, and I didn't know what to do. I want this to be a beautiful story, but this is a story that's still unfolding. And what I want you guys to know is that I don't have any right thing. No, there's no one answer to solve your anxiety or your depression. But what I do know is that you got to keep going. What I do know is you got to keep moving forward. You need to try everything. I tried everything. I do like 3 or 4 things now that are actually working, and I'm not having anxiety like that anymore. If you want to know what those are, send me a message. I'd be happy to share them with you. But what I also know is that more people need to share their anxiety journey because when I was walking through it, it was like before it was like the popular thing to talk about anxiety. And I didn't know any of my friends who had dealt with this before. So I had no idea what it was. And I didn't know who to ask other than my doctor. And the only reason why I turned to them was because I literally wasn't sleeping. So if you're somebody who deals with anxiety or depression, or you've just walked through a lot of trauma, reach out. I would love to connect and make sure to follow because as I build out on TikTok, I'm going to be sharing so much more about anxiety. You're not going to want to miss it.